Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ine Ireland and Dejnikas, and welcome to this production of Social Studies Explorer. Today's edition, Public Issues, Day 3. Over the course of the last few days, we've had some vigorous discussions about what constitutes a local issue, a state issue, and a national issue, and how core democratic values could be applied when deciding what choices should be made. You've had the opportunity to look at whether schools should be allowed to require students to wear school uniforms. And now you're going to be asked to go further with that. As a review, when we explore a public issue, we identify the factual and definitional questions related to the public issue. So what facts do we know about school uniforms? What definitions? Maybe what does a school uniform entail? That definitely play a role. Use graphic data to analyze information about the issue. You were provided with said data. Evaluate alternative resolutions, which means what other ideas could you have to solve the problem or improve, in this case, the situation without going to school uniforms. Consider how core democratic values relate to the issue. And we're going to begin today the short essay expressing your opinion on the issue and justify your position with a reasoned argument. You have been provided this following document. And this document will be filled out first, and then you will turn it into a written piece. This is another opportunity to earn a positive grade as far as writing opinions. So if you were struggling before, and this is another chance. So the first thing you're going to look at is the question. And the question is, should public schools be allowed to require students to wear school uniforms? You're going to choose yes or no. I want you literally to mark those boxes. Then you're going to reference the data. And let me show you where the data was again. You received it in our previous session. There's data sheet number 1, 2, 3, 4, including the graphs, and then some arguments in favor and against. So you're going to refer to which data will help support your yes or no. If you're saying no, you probably don't want to put out data that talks about all the good things that school uniforms do, or vice versa. Then you're going to connect it to a core democratic value. And looking back here, I'm going to scroll up, so avert your eyes if that's going to annoy you. Things like liberty and freedom, justice, common good, equality, and diversity. See them right here. And it's a recall of liberty and freedom. It's freedom to make choices, to believe what you want, to have your own ideas. Justice includes this, that all people should be treated fairly. No group should be favored. Fairness. Common good, the good of the whole community. People working together for the benefit of all. Equality, equal treatment, equal protection under the law, equal opportunity. Diversity, respect for variety and cultural background, race, beliefs, differences, etc. Which means, and so on. You're going to provide your reasons right here. And that should include reason and evidence. So as you put it out here, yeah, you have your evidence as part of your data. But when you put your reason, you're going to want to tie these together. Because if you remember our methods before, we had the topic, we had the reasons with evidence, and then we went back and restated the opinion at the end. And if you need to look back at some of your writing materials, feel free to do such. So today's session will be strictly about filling this out and then writing your paper. You'll have a couple options. You could use a Google Doc, and that's all right. Or you could do a paper copy. I do ask that you maybe skip lines. Make sure you write neatly if you're doing the paper copy. Because tomorrow, one of your peers is going to review with you, and I'll probably let you just choose together with friend, or maybe a couple, three of you might exchange papers, pass it to the right, something like that. And your classmate's going to peer review it. So they're going to check off, does your paper have a position statement? Does it have at least 2 reasons? I know a lot of times I say 3, but for the purposes of this assignment, 2 is the minimum. Please don't put 20 reasons. We want to keep you within the constraints of social studies class. You need to refer to the data. There has to be a connection to the core democratic values and a concluding sentence. They're going to check off, do they find these things? And this is awesome because if they don't find it, you might have an opportunity to explain, hey, here's what here's where it was. And that might allow you to do a quick fix before you formally submit this paper. You're going to answer, and then there's some questions they're going to answer, and we'll talk about that in our next video. So at this point, I want you to go ahead and fill out your writing plan and draft your essay. Once you've gotten all the way through, you might go through and do a quick edit and revising. Make sure you have proper punctuation, capitalization, and so forth. If you have any questions, please reach out to me during class. Otherwise, have a minogijigad, minwa, pamapi.